into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Hakeem. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, I was waiting for the music. Hey, what's up, everybody? You tuned into AFTERBUZZ TV for the new Fox #1 show, Empire. I'm your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce my lovely panel.
Erica J. Green.
I am Emile Ennis Jr.
And I'm Sofia Stanley.
So, Empire, Episode 2, The Unspoken King. Let's just dive right into it. Let's just go to the very top of the family tree. Let's go to Lucious, Cookie, and Kitty. So Cookie arrives to the mansion, and so now it has hit her. She now sees what her $400,000 in drug money has now, what it has transpired into. And so she's starting to feel a certain way, and we've kind of seen this throughout the whole entire episode. What do you guys think about this whole Lucious, Cookie, Kitty dynamics? What do you guys think?
Well, I'm going to back up a second. The fact that she had to arrive in a New York yellow cab, like, seriously, no, but part of her contract, you don't have a car. Mm-hmm. So regardless of the fact that she's been away for 17 years, and she went away for 17 years so that you could build this empire, and the empire was literally and figuratively built on the $400,000 which she earned, and she's showing up to your, not mansion, estate, in a yellow cab. Yo, Lucious, you ain't doing your job.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, but you see Lucious trying to run that fine line of, you know, making Cookie happy and holding on to the life that he had before Cookie got out. As you saw when she got out in the first episode, he wasn't too happy about it. He was like, she's gonna come and shift things around in my life. And I think that's what he's really trying to do. But it starts to slowly unfold in this episode. There was a little disrespect, and then he checked it. So we'll get into that later on.
I think for me, and they address this later in the episode, but she says this like, what did she do to him to cause him to treat her like that? And I think that's my main issue, because when she comes up to the house, like, her face, I can just imagine, like, being in jail for so long. In jail, she realized obviously that he wasn't in love with her or whatever, they fell out. But to go up to that house and to see, like, the money that you invested and how he's turned that into this empire, this mansion, after what she's experienced for 17 years in jail, I mean, like, what the fuck?
And I
I second that.
I wish I can take the other side and be Team Lucious, or just to play devil's advocate. But not only was it her money, but she seemed to be the mastermind between of A&R and just getting them together. And he divorced her while she was in jail. So I feel that although sometimes Cookie does come off a little inappropriate, I feel she has a right to say and do what she does, because, like, he left her.
Yeah. I'm going to play devil's advocate. That's actually the only thing that I actually don't blame him for. And if I recall properly in the pilot, she was originally supposed to do 30 years. Yeah. So it seemed as if they came to some semblance of an agreement that to wait for someone for 30 years, like, I hope that I find someone that I love enough that I would wait for them for 30 years.
No.
But I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I say that just to be said. And my problem is that no matter what I don't care if you divorced her, she still was your actual wife. And I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say this. She wasn't a baby mama.
Right.
She was a wife. Mm-hmm. And she bore him 3 male children. And again, I don't mean to be sexist, but I think for the nature of this show and gender roles and power plays are kind of important. Again, she bore him 3 male children. And you're not even gonna respect her enough to at least keep her at what I consider like a basic level. Like Bunky at least had an SUV.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So to me, it's not even a matter of keeping her happy. It's just a base level subsistence of the person who you were married to, who then did all those things that I already mentioned. That's the first part. And then the second part is, kind of goes to your point, Erica, he actually should make her happy. This man knows this woman. So you think by making her come in a taxi and have your little boo-boo kitty, like who was actually already in her red dress and pearls, saw her on the camera, took off her red dress and pearls so that she could prance around in some lingerie like she thought that was going to affect Cookie?
Those ugly ass slippers.
That's what's going to make Cookie act like Cookie.
Yeah.
If you kept her on a baseline and everything seemed lovely and she had a fabulous house and she had a great assistant and she had a great car, then she doesn't have time to actually conspire. So again, Lucious, you're not doing your job.
Okay, I would definitely agree with that. Just a funny moment when she was in the kitchen. She said, "Yeah, I ain't got no bacon."
Yeah.
that was hilarious. That was hilarious to me. And so, what do you guys think about the whole Cookie Kitty relationship? Because you know, Kitty obviously it feels threatened by Cookie, which she probably has the right to. So what do you guys think about the dynamics and their banter in last night's episode?
I think that definitely Kitty needs to have some type of respect for Cookie, for the fact is she is the parent of the 3 boys. Not only that, if you see the timeline every time they do a backstory, Cookie held Lucious down. It wasn't that she was just like there and put the money up and everything. She supported him. You need to do this. You can do this. You're the bomb at this. And and how many wives, really support their man like that? Like they should. And so I think that's like, she should show her respect for that. And Cookie is a little bit disrespectful just to do both sides. She could calm that down a little bit.
I think for me, like Kitty, I get where she's coming from, but I think the reason why Kitty feels so threatened is because not only can she not compete with Cookie, it's that Cookie knows completely different Lucious, a completely different side. Cookie's from them streets, as Cornelia would say, but Cookie's from them streets, and Lucious is also from them streets. So Cookie, I think, if she's successful in what I think she's trying to do, she could potentially bring the streets back out of Lucious, which means once he comes back out, he could fall back in love with the Cookie that he fell back in love with years ago. So I think that's why Kitty's so threatened. Kitty has a body, but a body can only go so much. Like physical attraction is only so. Yeah.
I think that's a great point. And then Cookie slipped up, and actually she didn't slip up, but she revealed that she has given $400,000, which obviously Kitty didn't know. So do you guys think that that's gonna
she didn't slip up. She did that on purpose.
If I heard the last part of what you're saying, it's definitely gonna come back to bite everyone in the derriere. Kitty, who, and this is gonna sound silly, until last night on Twitter, I really thought her name was Kitty. I didn't know it was Anika. No, literally, someone was like, "Oh, what about Anika?" And I was like, "Who the heck is Anika?" I was like, "No, her name is Kitty." Anywho, she's obviously a very intelligent person, regardless of her stupid antics. Her ears perked up when that was said. That's the first part. Number 2, just like Erica just said, Cookie said it on purpose for a variety of reasons. I'm just gonna to kind of go a different direction for a split second. Lucious again mentioned the non-disclosure agreement. Again, who the hell is this dude? Who is this dude talking about non-disclosure agreements to his ex-wife who just got out of jail after doing 17 years in like the real jail, right? Like the real proper pen, right?
Yeah.
What the F does she care about some contractual terms? Do you think she even understood what she was signing beyond the $3 million a year? Number 1. Number 2.
Oh, yeah, 3.
$3 million. Number 1. Number 2. There is no penalty in the agreement that could prevent her from doing what she's doing. So the whole reason you do a non-disclosure agreement is so, for instance, my penalty to you, if I'm all of a sudden famous, right? My penalty is going to be $5 million. Now, let's say TMZ says, I'm going to give you 20. What are you going to do? You're going to break the agreement. Why? Because the $5 million penalty in the agreement that I have with you is significantly less than what TMZ is offering you. Does that make sense? The problem with Kitty is she's not about money. She is about respect. And if she feels like by disclosing that she started the company, that will get her respect, she will forgo any amount of money or penalty in the agreement. And I'm repeating myself. Lucious, you're not doing your job.
There's no rules in the streets.
Let's go into let's talk about Cookie and Lucious and the battle between the two sons. Like how Cookie is team Jamal and Lucious is team Hakeem. And so now the epicenter of the story in last night's episode was basically Jamal. Hakeem wants to come out to premiere at some club called
Leviticus.
Leviticus. And so now Cookie wants to now push Jamal, and Cookie's whole thing is, I'm not going to let you dim Jamal's light for obvious reasons for what we saw in episode 1. So what do you guys think about the whole dynamic between these two and how they're battling between the sons, yet the sons don't really care?
I think for me, once again, I understand where Cookie's coming from. But in this particular instance, I kind of had a problem with Cookie's approach, because you, in your agreement, said you want Jamal. You didn't say you want Jamal and all the perks that come with Empire or whatever. What's his record label?
Empire.
Is that his record label though?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you didn't say you want all the perks that come with it. You just said I want Jamal. So if
No, but not only that, but she is the A&R. So A&R does mean that she has the right to.
Did she get that title?
She did get
Yeah,
it because
but she's not the only A&R,
A&R.
but she does have that title.
Yeah.
But I see
Okay.
where you're going. Go with your train of thought.
I
I like where you're
think
going.
I just think Lucious is not entitled to give her all the perks, and if Lucious is saying that Hakeem is going to perform on this venue, that doesn't mean that Jamal has to perform in the venue. No matter how bad you're trying to promote him, you need to figure out another avenue, even though her resources might be limited. Figure out another avenue to promote your client without trying to rain on Hakeem's parade.
I think I would love to see this kind of come to end, this whole feud, because if both parents can't see them together is amazing. When that song started playing, I was like, this is fire.
Yeah.
I wrote that. I was like, this is fire. They need to see that, and maybe they can see the Empire can be whole with everyone coming together. Is that going to happen?
And so I'm going to disagree with you, Erica and Emile, only because Lucious has a problem with his son being gay, so therefore he's never going to put him on that level. So therefore, if Lucious has this problem with his son and won't allow him to rise to Hakeem's level, I'm gonna say now Cookie has the right to do what she's doing, because I mean this is the same Lucious that tried to put a child in the trash can.
Okay, I'm going to agree and disagree with you. I have been thinking since the pilot, and then again with this episode, why was Jamal even at the table when Lucious mentioned that they were having an IPO and there would be a successor? Think about it. You have 3 sons. If one of those sons, Jamal, you basically do not think is a viable artist and a viable person to run your empire, literally and figuratively, because he is gay, then why was he even at the table?
But have you noticed how Lucious will tell all his sons individually, you're the best person for it. If you do this, I'm going to give you this. So
but technically there's one person he's not telling, right? Ironically, Jamal's the only one he's not telling this to. Yes, he told him in the grand 3 when they were all 3 there, but he's the only one he's not ironically playing in the same way. To me, I don't know why, that resonates with me. That resonates with me that ironically, Jamal is the special one. Jamal is the special one because there's something about him that Lucious doesn't possess. Does it make sense? We don't like what we don't understand. And usually what we don't understand is something that's better than us. If it's something that you don't understand and it's less than, you give 2... See, I'm going to try not to curse. You give 2 Fs, right? So for instance, if you don't understand someone and they're like talking foolishness, you don't care. If someone's talking something and you're like, wait, I don't know those vocabulary words, I think it's a little bit above my head, that's when you start to feel a way about yourself because you're like, yo, that person could be smarter than me. Right. That's the dynamic between Lucious and Jamal. Yes, it's shrouded in the idea, and I'm not negating the fact that he doesn't like that he's gay, but I think the larger issue is actually a bigger issue, number 1. And number 2, I think that's why it was so, and I'm sorry for jumping forward, that's why it was so relevant that in the lyrics he says everyone has a closet. Meaning there's something about all of us that we try to keep hidden, and usually, ironically, it's the best part of ourselves, not the worst part of ourselves.
Since you jump, let's go there. So you had the rapper Fufu who was
That's not
Little bunny foo-foo. Sorry.
Wait, did I not say it right?
What is
Fofo. So he's in trouble, and so Lucious had to do this press conference, and so as he's doing the press conference, Jamal decides not to show up for Cookie's conference that she was trying to do to steal the fire, and so as Lucious is having the press conference with Megan, what's her name?
Probably Kelly.
Kelly McCain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jamal is at home avoiding the press conference, singing the song "Tell." What is it called?
Well, he stayed at home.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Because Lucious threatened him pretty much.
And also because he threatened him. I thought that was very powerful. How as he's now, Lucious is somewhat he's kind of confessing, saying that, you know what, I'm actually the problem and I'm actually not listening. And then Jamal is on the piano singing "Tell the Truth." I thought that was great.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think the whole dynamic with Lucious and his father is interesting, but the way Cookie is approaching the coming out thing is my issue, and the reason why is because it's such a strong part of a homosexual man's life to come out. And so for her to be saying, like, I understand what she's saying, like, oh, it'd be great publicity, like all these different things, but it's different if an established artist came out. I'm not gonna I don't want to say names and start rumors, but if an established artist comes out and say, oh no, I can say one though, like when Ricky Martin came out, even though we all kind of already knew, he came out and it was like,
know that.
you're like, I still had hope, but like when Ricky Martin came out, it was like, oh, but also like, okay, cool. But when you have an artist who's just starting out, like Frank Ocean, when he came out as bi, yeah, the critics were good at first, but then where is he now? So it's like when you're first starting out.
Well, he first came out and became who he was, then he came out.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like,
But he wasn't a household name.
Yeah.
Yet, I think is Emile.
I remember him from
right?
Odd Future. Like I knew, I was like, oh, Novocaine. Like I remember those songs. But when he came established, like Novocaine. Yeah.
That's what I was like.
Yeah. When he became established though, he came out as bi, which is still, for a gay man, it's still like comfortable. Oh, if I come out as bi, then I will still get both sides. So the issue I have with this Cookie thing, going back to the show though, is for her to like try to push this and do this huge press conference for somebody who's not even established as an artist besides being Lucious Lyon's son. I just feel like it's a little insensitive to him, and to put like that whole lifestyle plus his career all on a pedestal at once, it's just a lot for him to deal with, I would think.
I do get with that, but the one thing that I did notice is that he has the equality on his
Oh, I never noticed
on his
I think that's his real tattoo though, right?
I don't know. Don't start me lying. So he has a tattoo of equality, and so I have yet to see him wear short sleeves. So if he's a part of the family, like it's not that big of a secret. Like Jesus, come on.
This is the difference, and anyone can jump in. I think it's unfortunate that in 2014 or 2015, anyone actually has to come out, right? So for instance, I don't come out and be like, Idris Elba should be my husband. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just obvious that that's how it should be. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, hold on.
But you get where I'm going? And so I think that the difference is he lives his life in the way that he lives his life. Now there's a big difference though between coming out and also coming out in what I consider to be a extremely public way, i.e. using it as part of your marketing ploy.
Thank you.
Because then there's a whole different level of scrutiny in which now people, that literally is the focus. And even though I think that Cookie's original plan was, we'll lead with that from marketing, but they'll get to know you and your art and they'll love you. Sadly, we still love gossip. Does it make sense? So I'm going to talk out the other side of my mouth. Literally, if all of a sudden someone texts me right now and was like, yo, A-list artist just came out, I'd probably be like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, we love gossip. We love anything salacious. And now that becomes the news cycle. And no one actually cares if someone's talented. Nobody cares if he's an artist. All anyone cares about is who's he dating? Yeah. Is his boyfriend hot? Is he this? Is he that? And all of these other
And that's a great point, because you said it. We all said his songs are amazing. Yeah. And we're not focusing on the gay thing. Like, even if we didn't even though the character is gay, we were just listening to the music, those songs are hot. Yeah. But once you put that story in there, all people want to know is, oh, who's this? Oh, what did she call her boyfriend? His boyfriend Dora.
And I actually want to get you guys' take on that, because Cookie, as I said in the first episode, she referenced her son Jamal as a queen.
Yes.
Then she used the word faggot. She's called
sissy.
The sissy.
She was like, oh, pay the Pakistani.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Am I wrong? Is it wrong? Or, is she doing it in a malicious way, or is she doing it in just what do you think? Okay,
I don't think so. And the reason why is because it'll be different if she has been out here in them streets and she's learned like, okay, that's not okay anymore. She's been in jail
for 7
These other people are in jail. Even new people coming in, they're not gonna say, "Oh, sweetie, faggot is not okay anymore." like they're not gonna say that. So I think for her to be saying these terms, it's just
vernacular.
like, yeah,
exactly.
I think for her, it's Cookie, just like any other aspect. Cookie is Cookie. She's gonna barge into her room. That's what Cookie does, because she's still in them streets in her mind. Just like her fashion. Her fashion is still back from back in the day.
And then also, there's a lot of things. Cookie's always asking questions. One thing you can say about her, she's very inquisitive. So when the video of Jamal came out, Hakeem.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. And she asked what viral was. Like, she knows nothing, and you.
But neither did Portia.
Yeah, Portia didn't either.
Just FYI. Go ahead.
She's hilarious.
But before we get to Hakeem, let's get to.
Oh, actually, no. I just have a quick comment. Sorry, because I'm gonna be the devil's advocate, or the different one. Mm-hmm. I actually don't have a problem with her language. Mm-hmm. Now, with this said, to me, it reminded me very much of Spike Lee. And how Spike Lee makes New York a character. Mm-hmm. There is a different vernacular in New York where people speak differently than in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
They're more
abrasive.
They're more abrasive, you know what I mean? And I'm pausing partly because I'm from Boston and we also curse a lot. And it's when we curse kind of in normal conversation.
Yeah.
I think that on some levels it's normal. I also think it's normal, and I'm having trouble kind of figuring out how to express this. But you know how sometimes like boys, when they're like friends, they're kind of like they say mean things to each other. It's almost like a term of endearment.
Exactly. We guys, if you ever hang around with my friends and I, all we do is insult each other, and we call each other names that if someone didn't know what was going on, they would figure out like what's going on. You're offensive, you're racist.
So to me, I'm not saying that the actual use of the words are right or wrong, but I'm saying it gives an authenticity to Cookie, number one, but it gives an authenticity to the entire show. Because again, let's think about the nature of the show. Is she really going to use like something politically correct? That's the first part.
Sweetie, honey.
Right. So I think that
girl.
there's a complete difference. Even when she says Dora for Jamal's boyfriend, she's like, oh honey, like I'm all right, I'm good, I already told you we're cute, you know what I'm trying to say? The difference is, I think that when she says it to, let's say, the taxi driver, now that's just rude, racist, whatever, period. But again, I still think it's authentic. So for me, I like it, and I think that the fact that it jars us is actually a good thing, because I think it shows that we've all evolved where certain things actually make us feel uncomfortable. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good reminder.
Speaking of involving, what's so really cool is like when we first started out on AfterBuzz TV, we didn't have all these studios. You know, the YouTube page, the iTunes, all of that.
I didn't even know that there were iTunes comments. I remember the first time I discovered comments, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, right. So let's just. We have iTunes, so make sure you guys go to iTunes and rate us 5 stars on the new Empire show. In addition to the Empire, there's 60. We do 60 shows a week. There's so many shows that you guys can look and watch, and you can watch it down you can listen to it as a podcast. And we just have a lot of stuff, so you guys can go to iTunes, check that out, or you can go to our website at AfterBuzzTV.com for more information. All right, so now let's get into Andre and Rhonda. So, I don't know if I said this on camera, but I was like, oh, he's probably bipolar. And so,
whoa,
and so,
you're good.
And so, Rhonda and Andre, they were in the kitchen, and she's like, you haven't been taking your meds. He hasn't taken his meds in 2 cycles. And so she's feeling a certain way about it. And he's like, I don't need to do this because, you know, the stuff that's going on at the, with Empire is more important. Then she goes to, drop down on her knees, and she put the bib,
which was hilarious.
I was like, let's back up though, because when I rewatched it, but first she takes the bib out of the drawer. So she has the bib in a drawer in the kitchen, and you know how no kids. Think about it. She has a bib, and they don't have children. Proceed.
You know what? I like that. You know,
of course. No, but even I like it. I need a Team Rhonda. I was like, what the? Oh my God. She's taking her curlers out of her hair as she's advising her husband that he needs to like rechange his meds cocktail, blah, 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 as they're planning on how to maneuver and take over. Because to me, this show is so Machiavellian, Art of War. It's House of Cards. Like it's that type of Frank and Claire. And I didn't see it at first. And to me, I was like Cookie. I was like, yeah, whatever, bye. Rhonda. I was gonna say Becky, but that would be rude.
Yeah.
I think you know what I mean. I was like, bye, Becky.
Yeah.
Okay? And now I'm like, oh shit, I need a Team Rhonda t-shirt. Because she
You know what's
is...
funny? I thought you were gonna say Team Rhonda Bib. Continue.
Oh, memes
yes,
and tweets.
Yes,
Yeah.
that off camera.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was gangster. Like, I thought it was the way that she kissed him, because I've been talking to people offline, and they're like, oh, it's manipulative.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
great. She
what
uses
part?
sex to manipulate him every single time, and he falls for it just like a typical man.
But you know
But to
what?
me, she does it better than other
Oh,
women.
she
Like
does.
because the
she does.
way she locked him on that kiss, it was like she was 100% there. Like she literally, it was almost like, what's it called? A succubus? Do you know that word?
Yeah.
It's literally like she was a succubus and literally planted one on him, pulled all of his energy. So now he's kind of like, okay.
Whatever you tell me.
And then she told him, and then afterwards, when she already got her way, most people would have stopped there. She then sealed the deal. Nah, dude, like she's
legit.
My perspective is a little bit different because I felt the kiss was I don't feel she had him locked with the kiss, because when Rhonda kissed, when she put her lips, his lips was like this. His lips was like this. It was pressed against. There was no, his lips didn't press forward. There was no open mouth. So it was literally like, and he's just staring at her.
okay, but ironically, is that because he's bipolar and that somehow his cocktail is off? Because I've been wondering, and I think you are extremely astute for picking it up early. And I just happen not to know that much about being bipolar. But what I do know is that it's like you can go from states of being manic and then also points where you're almost depressed. And especially if you mix that with the fact that you're either then off of your medication, so you're going through some semblance of withdrawal.
And he's drinking.
Right. He's almost robotic, right? So it's almost like he doesn't feel. However, I still think that by her doing what she did, it's almost like you know what to do next. Like, you know what I mean? I still felt like it was leading him. So I agree with you, but I still feel like it was masterful.
And not only that, when she warned him of what he needed to do, he had already had the plan in motion. Now, can I call you out on blast? Because we were talking off camera about something, how you're not feeling the whole thing with Andre and the bipolar thing.
The way he's playing it, I don't know. Is his bipolar self is some hood guy or something? I wasn't sure.
I'll
I was
co-sign
like,
with you. I was a little confused with the bipolar. I'm like, so what exactly is making you bipolar in your character right now? I was
I'm
Okay.
confused by the way he's playing on it. But
Yeah.
Okay, and the funny thing is, for me, and I'm gonna talk out of both sides of my mouth, that ironically could possibly be his real self. Think about it. He's the oldest of the three kids. So theoretically, in terms of where they grew up, he had the longest amount of time actually in where they came from.
And remember also in the scene when they when Thaddeus was talking about Taraji's eyebrows, when she was with the money in the car, there were two kids in the car. So Andre and Jamal were in the car, so they've witnessed a lot.
In them streets.
In them streets.
So and this is gonna sound corny, but
That's
it's even like when
interesting.
people come from other places, usually your like vernacular, like your accent, your tonation is locked by about 14.
Yeah.
Arguably, when she went away, he was at least older than 8. So meaning that so much of that aspect of who he was already imprinted on him. To me, he has done everything, like, i.e. be the smartest and his typical first
Educated,
kid syndrome. Where you're like, you try to overachieve, like you want everyone to basically think that you're that person where everyone can rely on. And more importantly, you want to be the face going forward. So you actually are arguably putting on a corporate aesthetic.
But for me, I don't understand how your family doesn't realize that you have this illness. It's not something.
No, his dad, because when
his dad looked like he was like, what's going on?
dad
Like,
doesn't know.
You're right.
No
His dad
one
doesn't.
in his family seems to be aware, except his wife, which is to me, I would understand that that's something that kind of grows. You don't just develop.
But you know what?
Can you?
I know why, because Lucious is Lucious.
Like, think the devil. Sorry, I'm not trying to be an ass.
Well, now that you say that.
He's an ass. Cookie has already said he's a horrible father. I mean, look at how his kids have grown up. So would you really
No one
expect?
there to pay attention.
Would you expect for Terrence Howard's character to actually pay attention to what's going on?
And the mom was locked away.
Yeah. And so, okay, so let's now go to the whole Jamal Cookie. We've kind of pressed on her just a little bit, but is there anything else that you guys want to discuss about the dynamics of Jamal and Cookie's relationship or the press conference? Okay,
I mean, the only thing is, unless we're not going to talk about it, we can talk about it offline. It's just the elevator scene. I think that this show is so timely. Like, I don't know when they wrote things, if they're doing things on purpose to tie it into pop culture.
Let's go into Cookie, Lucious, Fofo, the whole dynamic. So he was involved in a shooting in the mall, and so they figure that they are going to fix him.
No, maybe I got it wrong. I thought that there actually was a mall shooting.
Yeah, there was a mall shooting.
He wasn't involved in. That the person who did the mall shooting then basically like went on YouTube and made a video and was like, yeah, I shot those people up because I was inspired by 4-4. Not that 4-4 was involved in the shooting.
Gotcha. Okay, you may be right.
Because there's a lot more than
because there's a big difference. Because then they would be bringing him up on assault charges, not freedom of speech.
Totally.
Yeah. So it's saying that his song incited them to do it.
That's what Lucious was talking about in the interview.
Right.
Which is why he says that he's like Gandhi. You're right. Okay, so.
Wow.
So as a favor, Vern and Lucious now wants to use that to make sure that he opens up, kind of do a Diana Ross, Jackson 5 thing for.
He asked who's Diana Ross
for Hakeem, and so.
But
Cookie,
again, the timing of this is when everyone was like, "Who's Paul McCartney? Who's featured on Kanye?"
Yeah.
Like they obviously wrote this before that happened.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't the timing? Sorry, I'm geeked out.
Or maybe they write stuff into it too, because they were using a lot of stuff that was going on and bringing it into the show, which I would have thought they filmed way before a lot of this stuff started happening.
But if this guy's in his 20s, that means he was born in the 90s, and Diana Ross by that time.
No, he knows Tracy Ellis Ross if he knows a Ross, or even the little one.
But a lot of people don't make the connection.
No. That's my point. Meaning he wouldn't know Diana. The only Ross he
would
know would either be Evan or Tracy.
You just have to not be cultured. I was born in the 90s.
No, but again, the whole thing is, and I think this is why it's so relevant, and I think that's why it's so great. He isn't cultured.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, he literally, because at the end of the day, how the hell you in a room, and even if you don't know who this woman is, like, you gonna amp up like that?
If you're a musician, you act like you know.
Like, seriously, like, you're literally in your recording. You know what I mean? You're literally at your recording label, right? So again, I don't care what streets you're from. It's 2014, it's 2015. You know that this is a business. You know, in order to maintain money coming into your business, there's certain things you don't do. One of those things is you don't act up, and literally, like, he was literally coming for her. That's why she was like, what are you gonna Ray Rice me?
But before the elevator, when they were in the office and he was like, who's this bitch? Cookie said, somebody who wouldn't give birth to your ugly ass. she spits it out. She really does. And then the Ray Rice situation came at the table when he got up and she's like, what you gonna do? You gonna Ray Rice me? Which I thought was great because they use a lot of things that are going on. So I thought that was...
And then she's like, I've fought tougher chicks in jail than you. And they had better lyrics.
Yeah.
Like,
Now let's go to the elevator scene, because then he's like, oh, bitch, you've been basically yapping off about me. And then...
Kitty was messy.
Kitty was messy.
But even before Kitty was messy, though, and again, I only noticed this because I watched it twice. Look at Andre. Look at his dad. Just rewatch it, everyone.
Yes.
Go back. He is staring at his dad like, dude, you're not going to do nothing?
Yeah.
And then once things get messy, watch how he goes into the corner like he is a scared child. Or...
I didn't notice that.
Or he is literally trying to restrain himself from actually doing something. To me, what I haven't been able to figure out, he seems so detached, and they may be trying to make it because he's bipolar. I don't buy that. The first child is going to kill for their mother.
Yeah.
There is no first child. I don't care if she went to jail for 17 years. I don't give a rat's you know what. Anyone is talking like that to your mom, you are going to go psycho. He has conditioned himself because of where he's at to not react off of that basic primal instinct. Rewatch it, the suit mentality. Rewatch him in the corner. It's powerful.
That's great. Now, do you think that the way that Lucious handled it was basically he co-signed with Fofo, and then after she left, then
let's not go forward. And Boo Boo Kitty laughed.
Yeah. I think that's all a power play with Lucious, because he doesn't want
Cookie to know.
Cookie or Kitty to know that he has any type of feelings or remorse. But my thing is, just going back on Fofo, I think that the issue I have with him is, even if you do grow up in them streets in the hood or whatever, you still, I would think, have a certain respect for women.
No, I disagree. Oh,
No, but hear me out though. I mean, there's strippers, there's prostitutes, there's the girl down the street, all these things. But in the I guess
workplace,
the scheme of the company, and you know that she's somebody who is connected to Lucious, because did he have prior knowledge of the relationship that he has with?
Probably not, because he's a rapper. He's been there.
So because of that, when she walks into the room and she makes this comment, regardless of the comment, I don't think that it was appropriate for him to like just jump up, not knowing who she is in the company and what power she could possibly have.
He's ignorant.
But to me, I'm gonna go back to those streets. I don't care what street you're from, you know better.
Yeah.
And even, and I'm gonna tell on myself, damn. Strippers, there's rules.
Yeah.
There's rules in the strip club of what you can and cannot do. So think about it. You know that you can do this and not that.
Just heard
no,
what you
on some real whatever, okay? So at the end of the day,
myself.
we grown folks. If you ain't grown and you watching this, you need to do something else. But no, really. So I just say that to say that, to me, where he's from is not in any way an excuse for how he acted. Yeah. He just is a bad kid. And again, and I don't mean bad, but just ill-informed and a douchebag.
Okay. So can we?
And again, and I'm not even going to go forward with it, because again, we can go back and we'll talk about Hakeem later. Does that make sense?
We're
Two
going to
drastically different ways of being brought up, but both disrespectful, not only to women, but ironically to the same woman in the same way.
Thank you for
where you're from
is
not relevant.
Great transition. So let's get into Hakeem.
Hakeem, Chase and Tell, but it's good.
Tiana's cute. Is that her name? The singer Tiana?
Yeah, Tiana. Okay, she was dope. She was dope. But I just realized in this episode how talented Hakeem really is. I mean, he came on the scene on this last episode, and he really was spitting some lyrics.
Yeah.
But all to Chase and Tell, like, this boy needs some focus, and obviously his father cares about him enough to, like, you know, want him to really have a career, but he's not really being there to mold it.
I mean, but that's what I love about this show. It really is authentic to that type of character, that age, and if somebody who was brought up, because I guess, for most of his life, he's been brought up with money, brought up with privilege. And so he's surrounded by all these beautiful women, as we see with Lucious's flashback in the little music video with the girl with the big boobs.
I was like, what was this about? I wrote that. I was like, what is this about?
And I don't mean this to be disrespectful. I was like, what a whack ass car. And then I was like, it's 2002. And then if it was a Corvette, and anyone likes Corvettes, I apologize. But I was like, yo, like, that ain't making me be like, yeah, blue and white racer stripes. Sorry.
But like, it really, I think it's an accurate depiction of what a character or what a rapper that age would be like, trying to get Tell. He's up in this fancy restaurant because he's cultured, but he's not truly cultured. Like,
but to a certain extent, though, Hakeem has been around money and all of that. To make that video, we have to touch on the video that he made talking about President Obama. Like, you have no respect for our president. I don't care what you really feel about him, but to be in a figure in the public and say such disrespectful things, and then they're supposed to have a relationship. Oh, Barack, you know he loves
that
you.
Scene was funny, though. That scene was funny.
Stop the press.
They should have had somebody from Key and Peele being Barack on the phone.
No, and I think that everything that Erica said was beyond on point. I think that sometimes it's so easy to kind of like joke about it. He didn't make fun of a celebrity. He made fun of our commander-in-chief, the president of the United States of America. That's the first part. The second part is, and I think this is my problem with the term sellout, I'm not a fan of that term, right? And the reason being is, and I don't mean to take it there, nobody has the right to tell anyone how much of who they are. Does that make sense? Yeah. Meaning, I, as a black woman, nobody has a right to dictate how black or not black I am, right?
Thank you.
And that's where that sellout term comes from. And that's something that you should be very careful about, number one. Number two, I think it is ironic that you are calling someone a sellout when your entire existence is based off of the reputation of your father. Mm-hmm. Your father built something. You have done jack shit.
Okay, so I can't stand that little bastard. I just cannot stand that little boy. He irks me. I'm only going to say a couple things about him, and then we can go forward. But the problem is, it all starts with the dad. It all starts with Terrence Howard character. Now, when Terrence even got mad and slapped the shit out of him, then you had the stepmother now wants to step in and pull away and saying, you know, don't do this, because why? Because celebrity and celebrityism is the most important thing. The video has gone viral, and so now more people and more press wants to come and see him perform. Everything in 2014 is all about celebrityism. So
But again,
he's losing. Cookie even said, you want him to grow up to be a celebrity first, but he's going to be a dummy or something that she said. I wrote it down. But that
be a fool. You're going to raise him to be a fool. Like he's definitely a star. He's basically, she was like, he has everything. You're going to make him a star, but you're going to make him a fool first.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, Bamm doesn't like his character, but how well does he depict the real rappers out here today? They think they're gods.
Yes.
These days.
Okay, and can I actually be more? See, I actually don't think that he's modeled after a rapper. I think he's actually modeled after Justin Bieber.
I was just about
because he's
Think about
entitled.
it. Wow.
There's
Think
a
about
difference,
it.
not for nothing, other than maybe one or two artists. And when they talk about the President of the United States of America, they talk about it in an artistic way. There is no rapper, and please correct me if I'm wrong, who would have the audacity of being that asinine and that disrespectful to say that.
You would say that, but they call themselves gods.
But the difference is, to me, even
the
the pissing motion, right? The pissing, that type of like overly entitled, nobody can touch me, that's more of a pop culture person who is untouchable. Hip hop artists may think that they're gods. The only reason that they think they're God is because they're actually willing to die. That's why Lucious hit him in the way that he did. Because he literally says, what did he say? He literally goes, do you know the world we live in today? Do you know what those cops could have done to you? Meaning at that moment, he was actually acting, and I'm not gonna really go here since I'm really subbing on this panel, but he wasn't acting like who he is in New York to piss in a restaurant and potentially have cops come there to arrest you.
Preach.
Think about it. He was acting like someone else.
Yeah, totally. Two other things. Bunky's dead. There's the family meeting, and Cookie tried to reach out to
when she tried to reach out to Hakeem, oh my God.
And he again is being disrespectful.
And I don't think he's being disrespectful. I'll talk about it online.
Actually, wait. He's being disrespectful in a well. Yeah, we have to talk about that offline. But
because I mean, at the end of the day, he's scared. Look at his lip quiver.
Yeah,
like,
he's scared of his mom.
She had a right to whoop his ass.
Yeah.
But in that moment, so what, he's just gonna be like, "Oh, I love you." All he's remembering is she whooped my ass. Like,
But did he have to
like
say?
that,
did he call her a bitch again?
No, he didn't. But he
What
went
did he-
like this.
what did he
goes, "Don't
say,
touch
though?
me. Don't ever touch me."
Called her the devil or something.
No, that was to his brother, and his lip quivered. And the actor is really good because to make me believe that you were that scared, that's your acting.
So he's dead, and so Terrence Howard now wants to go after the person. I thought he gave a great performance. You
on the phone?
You saw the little crocodile tear. And then the last thing that we have to discuss is, so Cookie had been getting text messages from the
unknown source.
No, actually, it was called the contact information, I believe, was Carr, because Portia said somebody by the name of Carr is calling you. I get it. And so it's Agent Carter. And so basically, Cookie did something to
get out early.
And now Agent Carter wants her to now to testify in front of a grand jury, and so now it's about to hit the fan. So now let's go into news and gossip really quick before we wrap up. So news and gossip really quick. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm so used to a long time.
Yeah.
When you were like wrapping this up, I was like, no, we got like 15 minutes.
So TVLine.com has announced that the ratings that went up for episode 2. Last week it was 9.4 million viewers, and last night's episode was 10.3 million viewers, which in the grand scheme of things, a lot of times when new TV shows come out, it always peaks at the very top and then it slowly decline, but the ratings went up. So congratulations to Lee Daniels and all the other people that are associated with this. All right, now let's go on to predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Ladies first.
Well, my prediction is I'm just going to go off of Andre again. I just feel like his bipolar is going to come full front. Everyone's going to figure out there is something going on with him. He's going to become the least likely to take over the empire. And we're going to see a new person really come up and rise to the occasion, either Jamal or, I'm just saying Jamal. Hakeem. Hakeem ain't worried about it.
I like that. Sorry. I really like that. Mine isn't a prediction more so than a desire. It's kind of like, I think every time you bring in the feds and people are like conspiring and they're keeping secrets, that's never what you do. Tell everyone you love what's going on so that they're in on it with you. So that if you have to give information, you know I'm giving information and you know you're giving information, right? It's kind of
never
like,
do it like that.
Right. Remember, like, what's the movie with De Niro and Pacino and Val Kilmer? I'll think about it. But whatever that movie was, at the end, remember how Val Kilmer's girlfriend,
Yeah.
thank you, that's the movie, where basically like she's on the phone and she basically gave a clue to him so that he knew that the feds were there. Like, that's what I need to happen. That's not gonna happen.
Potentially, maybe not, because she did reveal the information at the dinner table in the previews that I saw.
For the next episode, there's so much going on in
There's so much. Do you have
then
predictions?
that's my prediction.
My prediction, for me, I think that I don't think they introduced this hot girl Tiana for no reason, and the fact that she looks like she slept with Hakeem after his show, I think something's going to happen with that, and I think it's going to definitely mess up his chances for the Empire. And this isn't a prediction, more of a question. I don't know if you guys noticed. As Marie from America's Next Top Model, who's been linked with Raven Simone, was in the episode. I just need to know if she's playing a guy or a girl.
She's playing a girl.
She's definitely playing a girl.
She's playing a girl?
She's definitely playing a girl. She's just, she's
just part of the crew.
Yeah, she's just part of the crew. She's a homegirl.
Hakeem, so
Yeah.
I don't have a prediction, but I just want to mention, because we didn't, but the whole Becky and Lucious thing, because Becky found out through the medication that Terrence Howard's character has ALS, so she's the only one that knows that he's dying, and I like that, because I know that Gabby Sidibe is a guest star, so we're not going to see her often. But I really hope, if they're still shooting in Chicago, like I heard they are, I hope that Lee's able to give her more now that she's not doing that other show. So I really hope that Foxy Brown, and there's a bunch of other actors that's coming in here. So I'm just, my prediction is the shit's gonna get better.
Yeah.
All right. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV for Empire. Please please let everyone know.
I just want to say also thank you so much, Bamm and Erica, for letting me sit in on the panel, and thank you fans for letting us sit in. You can reach me on Twitter and Facebook at Sofia Stanley,
and me at Emile Ennis Jr. and Chasing LA on YouTube.
Erica J. Green on Twitter, Facebook, all of that good stuff.
And on social media at Bamm Ericsen. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode here at AfterBuzz TV for Empire. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.